Okay, let's talk about a scripture here since we're talking about praying for future spouses, because that's like one of the biggest desires that so many of us have. So we often use this scripture, Psalms 37:4, that says, and we just automatically go to the second part of this verse. God will give you the desires of your heart. And we overlook the most important and the biggest part of this verse that says, delight yourself in God, and he will give you the desires of your heart. What does that delight mean? Because that's going to take a minute before we get to part B, him giving you the desires of your heart. That means that you're first learning how to seek your happiness, your love, your fulfillment in God first. That means that you're working on yourself to be obedient to God, to be able to understand him, to be able to hear him, to have a life of discernment, to be able to be content with God in that moment of your life. Because see, when you begin to do all these things, it's called cultivating your relationship with God. You're going to find out that some of the desires that you used to have, you don't even want those things anymore. And now you begin to replace those fleshly desires, or those desires that you thought you wanted, those emotional things, with God's desires. Now, both of your desires match. You have the heart of God in you. You have God's desires in your heart for your life. That's what that scripture means. It doesn't mean that God's just going to give you the desires of your heart separate from what he wants from you. It doesn't mean that at all. God is not that type of God. He wouldn't set you up like that. That's a setup. That's flat out spiritual sabotage for God to just give you what you want, and you don't know what he wants for you. So I hope that helps you to understand that scripture. God is our Father, and he wants to make sure that, first of all, we are positioned with him before we go off into anything else. What you really want is going to be found in your worship with God. You're going to find it there. It's going to appear to you there with your worship with God and doing your worship with God. Hope this helps y'all.